Hello everybody, and welcome to EV Solar and Kilowatts. I thought what I'd do today, as it's such a clear, bright, sunny morning, and looks like it's going to be that way now for the rest of today. This is the Friday, the 18th of September 2020, is take a little brief look at the Myenergi Zappi, the screen, the information that you can derive from it, the Myenergi app. We'll have a look at that whilst the car is charging, and exactly what happens when we apply some load and how the charger manages that in Eco Plus mode. I'll talk very briefly about some of the other modes as well, just as we go through. So what I've done here is I've taken a series of photographs as a bit of a live sequence of events, and I'll put those up just as we're speaking, just to sort of help further understand what's going on. So initially we can see here on the first screen photo the Myenergi app and the various icons that are available to you. There is another one that's available, which is the battery, which I don't have at the moment. So probably now is a good time to give you a bit of a brief overview of our system without going into too much boring detail. We've got 7.5 kilowatt array on the roof and 5 kilowatt inverter. So that's why you see the 5.0 kW on the bottom right hand side of the screen there. That's circled in green. That's our green energy, and that is providing lots of solar for us at the moment, because we've got a nice bright sunny morning. That inverter then powers into our consumer unit, from where then we're able to heat our hot water, and outside in the meter cupboard is the power for our Zappi, which charges the car. So at the moment you can see in the circle there that we're 100% green, because all of our power is coming from, or electricity energy is coming from, our solar. Up at the top there, we've got 0.6 kilowatts. That's our house base load, because nothing much is going on. On the top left there, you can see the grey circled what looks like a cylinder with a shower head. That's our Myenergi Eddy, and that uses excess solar that would have otherwise gone to the grid to charge or to power a 3 kilowatt immersion heater, which is at the bottom of our hot water tank, and that powers at about 3 kilowatt hours. And can satisfy our hot water in about sort of an hour and a half, really, at 3 kilowatts. It happens sort of fairly quickly, and you can see at 10:32 this morning, when the shot was taken, the hot water was completely charged and completely full. And then we've got on the bottom left there, which is the purpose of this short video, is or intended to be short anyway, it probably won't be, is 4.4 kilowatt hours going into our Nissan Leaf. There's a prioritization on here as well, so you can pick up the car and move it clockwise above the shower, and that will prioritize the car, or as we have it at the moment, prioritizing the hot water, as I and my wife will probably go to the gym today, have a shower, and then we can get the hot water back when the children come home from school. So that's as the system was, with very little load on it, and then scanning across, went outside and showed you the screen presentation on the Myenergi Zappi, and it's very similar to what you can see on the app. 5 kilowatts being generated in the top left there with the solar, and 0.5 in this case by the time I went out, and nothing coming in from the grid. The Zappi senses in Eco Plus that there is excess energy, and puts that 4.4 kilowatts into the car. And on the bottom right hand side there, you can see what energy has been put into the car today. There are various settings we can talk about with the Myenergi Zappi in terms of screen displays and limits for charging, etc. But that's going to be essentially for another video. But basically speaking, if I had this on Eco on its own, that would be an economical charge. It would constantly deliver a minimum of 1.4 kilowatts, and anything excess would be taken up by the solar. If we suddenly had a drop in the sun, then obscured by a big black cloud, for example, then it would still power the car at 1.4 kilowatts, which is the minimum which it will provide. If we had it on fast charge, of course, full 7 kilowatts goes into the car. Okay, so then I go inside and I turn the kettle on. That's me indicating the little purple button. And this is pretty much a 2.8 kilowatt kettle. And when I do that, you can see here that on the Myenergi app, you can see that we've got an unhappy face for the house, because instantly as I do that, whilst 5 kilowatts are being generated by the solar, 3.6 is being taken by the house, a whole chunk is being taken by the car, and there's a little bit of pull from the grid. What actually happens here is the reason we've got some pull from the grid is because there's a bit of balancing going on. We can't just stop the power to the car. We have to gradually manage that down until such point as it can charge no longer. In the next screen there, you can see that the charging for the car has come right the way down to 1.6, 3.4 kilowatts from the house. We're pulling no more from the grid, so the system has balanced itself. And there we go, making a nice cup of tea and charging our car at the same time with all of that coming from solar and 100% green, which is fantastic. And then as we go outside, you can see there on the next slide, there's a bit of a transition going on, and 1.8 is coming from the grid. There's it says it's charging here, and you can see on above the car it says 5 seconds. That's a bit of a countdown. That can be set inside the Zappi. Again, I'm not going to go into great detail about that, but this is counting down to stop charging the car because some was being pulled from the grid at the time. I think also my wife might have turned the hob on as well, which is why obviously we're drawing quite a lot of power. But what will happen is the car will stop charging, and then we'll be pulling very little or no energy from the grid. So the car's charger, the Zappi, is working constantly with monitoring what's going in and out of the grid. If it's got more than 1.4, it'll put it into the car. When it drops below 1.4, because we're pulling from the grid, it'll stop charging. And that just keeps happening through the day, depending on the load that we are demanding from the house. So hopefully that's given you some explanation. If you're wanting to know how the Zappi works on Eco Plus mode, I'll be producing another video with some more details as I go along and find out more about it and how it works for us. And I hope you found that useful, and thanks very much for watching.